Hello and welcome. So chances are you're here because you have marathon training on your mind. Whether you have already started training or you're just beginning to entertain the idea that you might want to run 26.2 miles one day, I'm here to present an easy step-by-step process complete with tips on how to prepare for a marathon based on my own experience. My name is Allison, and I will be presenting this process on how to prepare for a marathon during this video. I discovered that I was passionate about running just a few years ago. It all started with a New Year's Day 10K in 2016, and after I finished the race, my husband and I got to talking, and we decided that we wanted to run 12 races in 2016. We were thinking one race for each month in that year. So I got really into running races that year, and I ended up finishing 2016 with 19 races, including my first half marathon. So the next year I decided I wanted to chase bigger and better goals. So I made a goal to run 1,000 miles in 2017. In 2017, I ended the year with 1,002 miles, 12 half marathons, and my first full marathon. So fast forward to this year, 2018, and I'm on a mission to run 1,200 miles, and I've already completed 4 half marathons and 2 full marathons this year. So I want to help you all prepare for a marathon using that experience I've gathered of what works, what doesn't work, and direct you in how you can use that advice to direct your own learning and your own training and your own journey of running a marathon. So I'm actually an instructional designer, and I work to design training videos and materials for a software system. But as you're probably already aware, my passion is running. So I really want to be able to combine my skills as an instructional designer with my passion for running. So that brings us this presentation and this video for you all on how to prepare for a marathon. Thanks for tuning in. So my objectives are that by the end of this lesson, you will be able to decide how you will choose a marathon, create a training plan, explain the importance of strength training, and prepare yourself to test your race day strategy. The first step is to pick which marathon you want to run. This is important because race preferences can really vary from person to person. You want to make sure that your accomplishment is coupled with enjoying the race day experience and that it reflects what is important to you as a runner. I'm going to put up a list of questions on the next slide. Please pause the video and take time to either consider and remember your responses or write them down. We will then discuss how your responses should influence your decision-making process when it comes to picking the ideal marathon for you. Please consider your answers to these questions. I recommend you pause the video, take as much time as you need. Once you're back, we will discuss. Go ahead and pause at this time. All right, welcome back. Now we are going to discuss how you can use your answers to these questions to help make your plans and diagnose your needs as a runner. 1. Is your performance affected by weather? Some people are affected by certain weather conditions more than others. For example, I find that I am better off running in slightly hot temperatures opposed to freezing cold ones. There are 2 factors to consider here: the race day itself and training conditions. If you run a race in May, it may very well be quite warm on race day, even though you trained from January to April in colder temperatures. If you race in September, it may be slightly cooler on race day, even though you trained in the heat from May through August. You can look up average race day conditions for most races. Make sure you do your research and consider how weather affects your performance. 2. Do you want to travel or stay home? If you love traveling and are interested in doing what the running community refers to as a racecation, pick a race that is in a city or place you want to visit. You can find races in big and small cities across the United States. at tourist destinations, in national parks, and the list goes on. If you do not want to add the logistics of traveling, staying in a hotel, and the extra coordination that it requires, seek out a race close to home. 3. Do you prefer spectators or solo time? If you need other runners out there on the course with you, spectators around every curve cheering you on and signs to chuckle at, make sure you pick a big race known for its size and spectator support. If you need all the other people around and choose a race where you are alone the majority of the time, you will be bored and may not even like the experience. On the other hand, if you enjoy the solitude of running, the alone time to think, and prefer to motivate yourself, pick a smaller race that offers something other than crowds, throngs of runners, cheerleaders, and bands. 4. Do you need sightseeing or scenery? There are so many races that can feel like a tour of a new city and plenty that offer breathtaking overlooks, nature trails, or beaches. Include this in your decision. Make sure the experience reflects what you value. What do you want to look at for those 26.2 miles? I will add, it is almost impossible to cover that much distance and have something awesome to look at the whole time, but plenty of races give you plenty to see. Just make sure they are things that you actually want to see. Okay, so the next step number 2 out of 4, is create your training plan. There are 2 big things I want you to remember when creating your training plan: long runs and weekly mileage. First, you need to honestly assess where you already are. What is your highest manageable distance and what is your total weekly mileage? Let's say you can comfortably run 6 miles without stopping and that you run 20 miles a week on average. That's your starting point. Now you're ready to fill out your training plan. So here I've pulled up a marathon training plan example, and this is really just worked in Excel, or in this case, a Google Sheet. And this is basically how you can start planning out your training cycle. So I will actually link this in the comment section for my YouTube video so that you all can access it and use it to create your own marathon training plan. So briefly, just to overview how this works, in column A, you have your week number. In column B, C, D, E, F, G, H, you have your days of the week, as you can see. And then in column I, you have your total mileage for that week. So the way that you'd want to go about planning this out is figuring out when you're going to do your long run. So in this case, I have the long run on Saturday, but you could absolutely move it to Sunday if you wanted to. And then also you need to figure out your starting point. So I gave the example that the starting point might be 6 miles, which is what you could comfortably run without stopping currently. That's not really pushing yourself too much. So if you decide that is 6 miles, that's what you're going to put for your first weekly long run. Then you'll want to fill in the other days of the week to get a preferable total weekly mileage. So in this case, we have 3 miles Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 6 miles on Saturday, gets you to a total of 15 miles for that week. A good rule of thumb for your total mileage is you don't want to increase by more than 3 miles at any point because it's just too much stress on your body. So you'll want to keep that in mind as you fill in your weekly runs in addition to your long run. This is really important for making sure that you arrive at the starting line healthy and injury-free, and also with fresh legs, fresh feet, ready to go. 3. Incorporate strength training. I cannot emphasize enough how important strength training is to runners. Most runners prefer to be out there logging the mileage than in a gym lifting weights. And it makes sense. That's why we love the sport. But if you want to arrive at race day strong and healthy, you can't skip strength training. I am not an expert trainer by any means, but there are tons of different ways to incorporate this into your routine. Do what works for you, is maintainable, and will keep you motivated. The most important aspect of strength training for runners is lower body and core. You have to work the small and large muscle groups ranging from your feet, ankles, Achilles, calves, hamstrings, quads, all the glute muscles, and all the core muscles. How you get there is up to you. If you have to go the group training or group fitness route, do it. If you have no idea where to start, get a trainer or ask a friend. If you don't have other resources, look up YouTube videos. There are so many trainers out there making free demonstration videos and producing valuable resources. Be smart and don't do anything that hurts. If you have an injury or something that is hurting you, do your own research, but don't hesitate to ask for professional help. Our fourth tip is test your race day strategy. There is a runner's adage, never try anything new on race day. And while sometimes you can get away with a new tank top or a gel you never tried, I would not recommend risking it. There's nothing worse than being out on the course with clothes that are rubbing your skin raw or an upset stomach. Test everything during your long runs. I'm talking your entire outfit, all your gear, your food, and your drinks. Do a long run in the shoes, socks, shorts, bra, tank top, watch, sunglasses, hat, and anything else you want to wear during your race. Test your fueling strategy to see if you perform well using gels or does your body respond better to oranges and bananas. Look up what electro drink the race will offer and test it out. See if it works for you. You can also look up if a race will offer gels, what brand, and where they are located on the course. Once you have obtained the information, prepare yourself. If you need a different electrolyte drink, plan to carry it with you. If the brand of gels doesn't work for you, bring your own. If the race only offers 2 gels, but you will need 4, pack the extras. You will also need to practice how to carry your fuel. Decide if you will use pockets, a fueling belt, or a pouch of some type. If you are running on a course that has multiple loops or laps, having someone hold on to your fuel is also an option. Once you have your information, have tested your outfit and fueling strategy, you will have the confidence come race day that you have done everything you can to avoid unexpected issues out on the course. This is also how you can perform a self-evaluation. See what is working in training and what is not working. I highly recommend that you evaluate how everything is going and make adjustments as necessary. All right, so that concludes our 4 tips or steps on how to prepare for a marathon. So I do want to mention that running is an extremely individual sport in a lot of ways. So what works for one runner might not always work for another. And there are so many people out there with running advice, tips, coaches with training plans, products to help you recover faster or train better. And what I really want to emphasize is the importance of directing your own learning. I hope that the tips that I've shared today and these steps that we've gone through help you to take a hold of your own training process and guide yourself through a preparation that really works for you and is based on your own experience and your own training plans and your own evaluations, even though I'm guiding you in the advice I've already given. And I hope that in doing so, you will arrive at the line on your marathon day healthy, ready to take on your challenge, ready to conquer your race, and motivated to do so because you had such a wonderful and successful training cycle. Again, thank you so much for tuning in and enjoy your training and happy running.